Do you think it should be earned?
It definitely should be earned, but I'm not the type of person to be untrusting of someone right off the bat. I'll give like a little bit of trust first and then see if you can continue to earn it.
If trust should be earned, why should we believe all women?
That's a good question. Definitely, I feel that women throughout the time of history and humanity have proven themselves with a role in society to be trusted. We take on a lot of responsibility in caring for our community. So that's where the trust comes from for women.
You Mob Funk Club.
Do you think trust should be given, or do you think it should be earned?
It definitely should be earned, but I'm not the type of person to be untrusting of someone right off the bat. I'll give like a little bit of trust first and then see if you can continue to earn it.
If trust should be earned, why should we believe all women?
That's a good question. Definitely, I feel that women throughout the time of history and humanity have proven themselves with a role in society to be trusted. We take on a lot of responsibility in caring for our community. So that's where the trust comes from for women.
Do you actually believe in innocent until proven guilty, or does that only apply until a woman makes an accusation?
No, I always believe in innocent to proven guilty. I think everyone should get a fair investigation.
I imagine the question is going towards women accusing men of sexual assault and sexual harassment. Is it innocent until proven guilty? How are you supposed to prove? Can we check the cameras? Can we get firsthand accounts?
When people say believe women, does that mean believe them no matter what, or just take them seriously while still looking at the evidence?
I believe it's to take them seriously. You know, I think we haven't been taken seriously for centuries, right? So I think, yes, you take them seriously. You look into the accusations that they're given, and then you can decide from there, just as any judicial system.
I would take them seriously, and I would believe most women, but that's just me.
Why is that?
That's just because I'm a woman, and if I was in that situation, I wouldn't be lying. I would tell the truth.
Do you think that?
As a guy, right? Hello, everybody. If I believe that I'm a person that tries to live an honest life, right? What in my mind is supposed to tell me that other guys live like me or move like me? There's nothing. Everybody is their own person. You know how many different variations of thought processes or decision making can make a person either tell the truth or lie? Why would I put myself in a generalization that I probably don't fit? That don't make, just because I'm honest doesn't mean that most men are honest. Everybody's experience around men will vary. I can sit there and be around a group of people that are honest for the most part, but then another guy that's honest could be around a bunch of people that lie all the time. So there's not enough consistency or merit for me to make a general statement like that. What? Oh, all right. Oh,
That men should just automatically believe other men just because they're men?
I guess that is kind of hypocritical.
If
yeah.
just an accusation can get a man fired or publicly shamed, how is that not treating him as guilty?
It is. It is treating him guilty.
How is that not treating him as guilty? I don't know, because I think it very much depends on the situation. I think not every job. I know people who haven't got fired for accusations. I know people who have. It's situational, really.
Why does it feel like a woman's word is enough to ruin a man, but a man needs overwhelming proof to defend himself?
Because men have proven who they are through the years. Do you know how many? I don't know the stats, but what is it? 97% of violent crimes or something are committed by men. It's in the statistics. That's why if you say a man does something wrong, it's more than likely, right? Whereas if a woman does something wrong, the stats don't quite line up. It's only a pattern. That's why you're talking about these things, because it's a pattern. It's not just like it's not just an accident.
All right, she lost me. I don't understand how crime correlates with trust. I don't understand what approach she's doing. Somebody fill me in on that. I'm lost. I ain't gonna hold you. I lost. What? That don't make sense on so many levels.
False accusations are rare. Does that mean the innocent men who get accused don't matter?
No, false accusations are not rare. They happen all the time, especially with now. This is a little controversial, but women do want to take charge, take power, and always make those false accusations towards men. And it's harmful. It really is.
Why is it controversial to even talk about false accusations if they supposedly almost never happen?
Is it I think it's controversial to talk about them because when it does happen, it's really catastrophic. And I think a lot of men, like you said, lose their jobs and their reputations and stuff. So when it happens, it is pretty big.
Hold up. I'm gonna say this. Sorry, y'all. From my experience alone, I have seen reputation, trust, the amount of effort that you put into a work relationship or merit of any sort. I've seen that diminish from guys from accusations. And then once he was proved innocent, he doesn't get any of that back. It'll be one thing that once he proves his innocence, he can still get the endorsement. He can still get the he doesn't lose anything. His reputation is intact, this, that, and the other. But it's the simple fact that I gotta sit there. There's people out there that you don't know how much you could have made in endorsements or you could have maintained your reputation, because now there's just one more person at bare minimum that moves around more skeptical of you when there was no reason to be skeptical of you in the first place. Like, the seed is planted in there. So now, even if you prove your innocence, it's like, if it's a guy around other guys, they're like, all right, cool, keep that in mind. But then now they're watching you with a wary eye. But then if it's a woman, it's like there's still some part of woman that just probably for the most part, not all women, but a good amount of women would choose not to trust you for something that you never did. But then you still gonna have the process there. If the woman lied, she wouldn't just lie for any reason. So now you're trying to validate the lie. It just doesn't make no damn sense. But at the same time, if you go through court, if you get proven the innocence, women don't go through the same level of punishment or the same level of sentence that would have been done. I feel like sometimes in a court case, if I was going to possibly get punished to a certain sentence, right? And then I prove my innocence, I think the sentence should be explained in a range before getting into the proceedings, right? And then once you actually prove that the guy is innocent, the range of that sentence should go to the woman for false accusations, or at least a fraction of it, or however you want to rule that out for the false reporting. I don't understand why, because I'm a girl or because I'm a woman, which they would say, I'm a girl, you never say because I'm a grown woman, that they get lesser of a punishment for going out the way to make up a lie, mess up this person's life, mess up this person's reputation, all because of their feelings or whatever is the reason why they would decide to make an accusation.
An accusation turns out to be false. Why aren't there serious consequences for the person who made it?
I agree with that 100%. There should be definitely more consequences for that.
Why aren't there?
Right.
That's a good question. Isn't there like a court thing where, like, if you lie to the courts or something like that, you can be charged with that?
Perjury.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I think that should be a thing.
They still lessen the sentence at court.
I think that we're seeing a lot of women get away with making false accusations, and unfortunately, they're not facing consequences for the damage that they dealt.
Why does it seem like people still suspect a man even after he's cleared?
You know, I heard this, this is awful, but I heard this one, I guess, analogy. You know, you have a box of Ferrero Rochers. You know what those are? The little, it's like the hazelnut chocolate little candy wrap things. Someone takes a shit and rolls it up in a ball and then wraps it up in the gold foil and puts it in the box. You'd be worried about every single one, wouldn't you? So same applies to, you know, the saying, like, not all men.
If a man
If we would go off that logic alone, with whatever the fuck expensive chocolate that she was talking about, if every guy had a bad experience with one woman, we should automatically assume that every woman is going to give me that bad experience. It's basically what you're saying. Sometimes y'all will say something thinking y'all could until y'all actually flip it and switch it into the other side. Then when you realize it doesn't benefit you or it doesn't make sense because it would be in your favor, now you're starting to understand the reason why that shit wouldn't make sense.
says he feels uncomfortable around a woman, would you instantly assume she's guilty, or does that only work one way?
I think it goes both ways, and like I said, you have to look at, kind of investigate and see any background factors.
Why is male victimhood often mocked, but female victimhood is treated as unquestionable?
Wow. These are questions I never thought of. Because male victimhood makes you weak.
Men are just known to be stronger. Like, if a woman is trying to take advantage of them or something like that, they're able to, like, they don't have a fear, you know? A lot of women have a fear from men. Men are very...
Does a woman's fear of men automatically...
Ladies, and to the guys that's paying attention to this, I need you to understand this clearly. Just because I'm stronger than you doesn't mean I just walk around on this fucking earth with no fear in sight. You make no sense if you believe that because something happened to me, I should be okay because I should be able to take it. No, motherfucker. I should not have to go through it either. Whether I'm stronger than you, whether I'm physically stronger than you or not, doesn't matter. What does that have to do with your emotions? What does that have to do with mental? What does that have to do with... Ain't no sense. That doesn't make sense. Don't even... That doesn't make sense. I feel it doesn't make sense. Logically, it doesn't make sense.
automatically mean she's in danger?
No.
Why do so many people assume that?
I don't know. It goes down to if a woman feels like a man is endangering them, it's just past trauma with them, and that then it becomes a personal issue.
If we say women aren't taken seriously, how do we explain careers being destroyed over accusations alone?
I think that just comes down to people believing the women, I guess. I'm not really too sure. Like I said, I'm a little bit younger, so I don't have a qualification to speak on that.
I think that happens a lot, actually. People are reporting to HR, sexual assaults and stuff like that. Just from, it could be a certain kind of look that, someone gave them, or an inappropriate conversation, that really isn't that abnormal to have anywhere, I do believe that that happens a lot in the workplace.
Should someone's personal feeling without proof be enough to cost another person their livelihood?
Absolutely not. You need proof for anything, especially if it has a possibility of destroying somebody's life.
So why does it often play out that way?
I honestly have no clue. I feel like our justice system plays more into the hands of who's more convincing than who can provide the most proof.
Isn't there something about with celebrities, they could sue for if their reputation's altered? What's that called?
Defamation?
Yeah, defamation. I do think that that's becoming more of a thing today. I do agree with
It's more than just celebrities. It's for every.
that. I think there should be more, not just for celebrities, but or high-end people that are well-known and business names and stuff like that. I do think that might become more of a thing in the future, for sure.
Are we protecting victims, or are we creating a culture where accusations themselves are weapons?
Both. I believe both.
Kind of like back in the day when people used to claim witches.
Before it goes too far, let's just get this clear, right? Women, okay, so from the gist of what I'm hearing so far, women want you to believe more women more because there's a lot of cases going on where there are a good amount of women out there, a good percentage of women out there that are victims to some type of abuse, crime, this, that, and the other. I don't take that for granted. I don't question that. But at the same time, for those that are legit going through that, right? You want them to be able to have the credibility to report these things. And there's a process that everybody, not just men, not just women, that everybody should go through in order to find proof. It's a little bit easier in a sense to find more proof because if women are being abused, right, and women's bodies are more delicate, you'll be able to see prints or this and that, the other fingerprints, whatever, or bruises and stuff like that on the woman. And then the woman should still go out the way to de-escalate the situation or get it on camera as much as possible. Just like a guy goes out the way to put it on camera because he is least likely to be believable that a woman is taking them through it, because most women, any scenario, would be more likely to be the victim or assumed to be the victim, and the guy actually has to have absolute proof to prove his innocence. I think it should be both sides. I think there should be a standard, but because a lot of situations, whether it's made up or not, most people will believe the woman anyway until it happens to them by the same woman. Or until it happens too many times and the woman is the common denominator. Because at some point, you got to sit there and be wondering, if, and this doesn't apply to people that actually go through it, but if you've gone through abuse, you're going to not want to be around people that could potentially be abusive again, right? So you shouldn't draw yourself to more people that are abusive. You shouldn't put yourself in situations, especially after the trauma you had, to be abused again, right? So you should be doing everything possible to prevent that after certain situations. And some people don't. So you have to. There are people out here that is in this weird gray area where they ruin it for the people that actually go through the abuse, the trauma, the pain of abuse or a bad relationship or a crazy situation or whatever, because they lie based off of some kind of wild emotion and act on it too extreme and do something crazy they shouldn't do and lie about it or do false accusations because of how it would be seen towards them on a college campus or this, that, and the other, or their dad to find out or whatever. There's so many different reasons. They would rather lie and hope they can get away with it because they're hoping that more people will believe the woman doing a false accusation and will just take it for that and then lock this person up when there's been situations time and time again that the woman was just upset. And because she was upset, she lied. And it went from possibly putting them in jail, possibly ruining the reputation, possibly doing a whole bunch of things. And it makes you not trust the fact that women could make lies and accusations up when their emotions are not where they want it to be. So then you wonder, from a guy's perspective, how often the women that go through their emotions way more than guys that regulate their emotions, that are fully familiar with their emotions, you're wondering why they don't have a hold on their emotions. Like, why don't they be able to regulate and maintain their emotions better than men? Because if somebody goes out of the way to get trying to get under the guy's skin, the guy has to sit there and have the ability to not respond emotionally on the composure and just still have composure. Why can't women do that? If they have more time and more practice with their emotions. Things like that. But there's a lot of things to be said, a lot of answers are not happening, and we need to find answers to them.
Is to be, oh, she's a witch, you know, and then they're getting burned as a witch. I mean, how many people probably died as a witch and really weren't a witch, you know what I mean? Just because they didn't like that person. They're trying to spite that person, try to get back at that person. They know it's going to work because they saw it work with someone else, you know what I mean? So I think people watch, and it's like a trial and error thing, and they, you know, they see that happen to that person. So
there could be women out here crying in your face after they cheated on you, or crying in your face and lied to you, and they're crying. And they still acting like the victim. Does that make sense to you?
let me, do that to that person. I do think that's also a thing.
If we reverse the genders in high-profile cases, would the public react the same way?
No, they wouldn't. And that's really unfortunate. And that's a society thing. I think it's because of things that have happened to women that have gone media viral. And now here we are dealing with all the media viral stuff when all the other cases get pushed under the rug.
Has society overcorrected in trying to support victims to the point where the accused aren't treated fairly?
Yes, I believe they are. I think it just comes down to just everyone just jumping onto someone that's accusing someone and just taking their side immediately without looking into any details.
Because sometimes, like, what could you have for evidence other than the actual experience? We all have experiences where we can't necessarily prove that happened. I mean, if someone, like, let's say your boyfriend cheated on you or something like that, unless he, like, admits it or the other person involved, there's really not a way, to really kind of know sometimes.
If your boyfriend cheats on you, right, you're making an accusation that your boyfriend cheated on you. So wouldn't it make sense that the proof that you find that your boyfriend is cheating on you is the same exact proof that you show everybody else? realize, why did you make this accusation if you have no proof? Also, I feel like everybody at this day and age realize that in order for something to be believable at this point, put it on camera. If you can't get it on camera, sound record something. And you're still telling me in this advanced day of technology and all these viral videos and stuff like that, you're telling me people still don't know how to do that? It's bullshit. There are more cameras and more places now than anywhere. So naturally, if you're somewhere where a camera is not being at, you need to think about that and be somewhere where cameras are recording. Is that not common sense? Everybody don't have common sense. It should be normal knowledge. Normal knowledge and logic at this point, especially if you want to be proven to be innocent. You had from grade school where situations have happened and teachers will ask you for proof. Parents will ask you for proof. You got all this practice, and you tell me you still don't know how to do that?
Why is asking for evidence sometimes treated as an attack on women?
Because women are guilty a lot of the times when that happens.
Can you be more specific?
A woman will commit the crime, say that she didn't, and if someone says, well, prove that you weren't there, and she's going to be like, well, why are you asking me for my personal information? And she's going to get very defensive because she did do it.
But then again, I think that's women. If you're asking for evidence, and if you're not lying, you shouldn't feel guilty or attacked. You should be like, oh yeah, let me tell you more. You know?
Do you think public opinion can act like a court even before a real court looks at the case?
Oh, absolutely. Did you guys watch the Johnny Depp case? 100% the public spoke on that before the court was even done with that. So, I mean, yeah, 100%. We've seen it all over the place.
If your brother, son, or close friend were accused with no proof, would you still say, just believe the accuser?
No, I would still want to look into the facts. Like I was taught to get every side of the story. There's side A, side B, and then there's the truth. So that's kind of what you have to look for, is the truth.
Why does society say men aren't allowed to generalize about women, but seems comfortable generalizing about men?
That's just, I think, maybe double standards that we have.
For thousands of years, things have been generalized about women. So, I mean, it's not necessarily
Give
right,
examples.
but I think men have kind of had it coming, you know?
If equality is the goal, why doesn't due process get defended just as strongly as believe all women?
I think due process should be defended more than believe all women. I don't think anybody should believe all women. I don't think anybody should believe all anything without evidence. And I'm a woman of science, so like you have to have evidence if you're gonna try to prove something to me. Like I'm not gonna believe it blindly. I can't do that.
The bigger picture behind equality right now is more so equity. So I think we're kind of pushing more opportunities for women to speak up because they haven't previously been given the space to.
Why would men want to approach women today when they no longer have to worry about just being rejected, but also have...
I will say this. I want women that actually go through stuff. I want more women to be able to speak on things and go through a process where they can actually get and press charges on people that are actually going through stuff with. I do want that. But it's like every time you do something, there's always a group of people in the gray area, whether in situations to be more women, in other situations more men. There's always the gray area of people that takes advantage of anything. Anything good, there's going to be a bad side. Then there's going to be that gray area that everybody kind of teeters around and dance with. and there's only going to be a certain group of people that manipulate according to that. I do want women's voice to be more, to be able to express themselves, to be able to be more valid and all this stuff considering history. But at the same time, you want the credibility to continue only up and up instead of cases where the credibility goes down because of false accusations, lying, or less logic due to emotions. You're able to express your emotions and you're more emotional as a woman, but there still needs to be a level of logic and credibility and truth so you will be able to express your emotions more. And sometimes you sit there and feel a certain way, but like for instance, you're not supposed to use the men's restroom because they can put you in such crazy situations for a lot of reasons as a woman, and you feel like I need to go, but the women's restroom is packed. You should still not put yourself in a more dangerous position just by going to the men's restroom for obvious reasons. You gotta live and die by your decisions. You gotta sit there and, I mean, those stick out like a red flag. Just don't put yourself in situations. Guys move like that every day. And there's a lot of guys out here that give trust and the benefit of the doubt just for them to not trust themselves anymore because this woman turned out to not be a good idea to trust or a good person to trust. And now they got to sit there and hope that they can recover and earn their decision making all over again to trust themselves, but then choose better in the future. And women should do that same amount of work too.
Have to worry about being accused of harassment.
That's a good question. Not only that is rejectment and harassment, but you could be recorded and then just made a mockery for just being normal or attempting something that's normal. I feel like it's hard both ways because we live in such a technological world that that one's just hard. I think that we should put the phones down and just connect with each other.
I think if you approach the woman in the right way, that's not so forceful. Like, I feel like men do tend to be a little more forceful with women because they are seen as kind of like your property. And that's just innate. It's in your DNA.
It's hard because every time.
Incorrect. Men will not do something that hasn't worked on women before, right? You can't sit here in one breath and say men are being forceful, but then in another breath, there's videos out here about women wanting guys to be more assertive. The only difference between forceful and assertive at times, and it's just kind of like most of the time, is just like guys doing approach. Every woman wants guys to approach men, and it really just comes down to if they're attracted to you or not. They either see it as they like it, they love it, or they're creeped out by it. And with that being such a flip-floppy thing, it's like you have to give room to just be like, okay, well, if I'm gonna want guys to approach me, I'm gonna have to sit there and get a certain amount of people to turn down and turn them down politely. And then there's some guys that are really hard at understanding that they've been turned down politely that you should cuss out. But the ones that, you know, they've been hearing all of these stories about how persistent you are, or the women will sit there and be upset that once a woman says no, a guy walks off, and then be upset that he's not persistent. That's weird. Because you're basically saying, oh, if he's attractive, you would still say no, and the guy's been respectful of your consent, and then moving on to be respectful of your space and privacy and all that stuff. But now you want him to keep on pursuing you, versus if an unattractive guy did that, now it's harassment, now that's a police case. Like, do you not see how flimsy that is? You have to create something more consistent that makes sense, that makes it more easier to navigate, whether you're attractive or not. This is the universal thing. Hey, if you're a guy that's attractive or not, and I'm not looking for anything right now, and you come up to me and approach me, I'm going to say no. I want you to respect my word of saying no, believe my word of no, and have a good day. But then, if you break the rules and lie to yourself and lie to us, saying that the attractive guy should have kept going even though you said no, you make yourself out to be a liar. Which usually you overlook it because you're thinking about how you're feeling, but logic and facts is saying you just literally lied to me, all because you wanted to break your own rule that you set.
Time a guy approaches me, it's kind of just like, I don't want to be bothered. You really have to feel out for what the vibe is. And a lot of people,
When they say that, they mean that you really have to see, you really have to be paying attention to subtle signs that you can barely pick up, that they barely do, or they do horribly, to know if you should make the move or not.
a lot of girls are not out to be given that type of attention nowadays.
Why don't women step up and set the example? Why don't women start approaching men rather than complain how men approach them?
It's like they'll be mad if you don't want attention. Well, wouldn't it make sense to dress where you don't get attention? Or if you want to change things up, wouldn't it be easier for you to approach a guy? Not just have a general conversation, but wouldn't it be better for you to approach a guy and tell him that he looks great? Like, give him some kind of obvious sign that he should pursue you? Like, you don't even have to do the whole, hey, what's your name? Give me a number, this is this. You can just say, hey, I saw you from across the room. I thought you were attractive. And I wanted to see if this was mutual or this and the other. And would, should pursue each other. Something like that. Yeah, he can take over.
That's a great question. I wonder the same thing. I'm a very strong-willed woman. I approached my man. I basically was like, hey, either you're going to be with me or you're not. Like, that's your choice. And he made the right choice. He's with me 8 years now. But I think that women just need to buck up. I really do think women need to buck up and start doing something about that stuff. Like, if you guys are scared about something, go MMA training, learn to defend yourself, do something to, like, make yourself not so scared of society. Like, if you guys are that scared, then we need to fix something in ourselves.
I'm thrown off by the fact that nowadays there's a lot of different things tweaked to make it more easier for women to move around, navigate, and all that stuff, and they still mess it up. Or they still don't make the most of it. And it's still not enough. It's like you wanted too much. Give it until you can take them out. You're taking a football field. But at the same token, I just believe that no one should be, nobody should be believed. Don't believe all dogs. Don't believe all cats. Can't even breathe all air. So why should we believe all women? Should we believe all men? I think it should be fair credibility. I think there could be a fair status or way to process things or a standard to show proof, and people just choose not to do it. And the way that this world is, we have to change that. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Until next time. Until next channel. Peace.